We heard this morning that Emirates is going to be sold out tomorrow, 60,000 fans for this game. How exciting is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think exciting doesn't do it justice. I don't think any amount of words will be able to do that justice. There are a lot of feelings, a lot of sentiment, a lot of hard work that's gone into this, and yeah, a lot of people will see this final end product of a sold out stadium, but I think for me and for everyone at the club, it's about the process, and the process that started probably months and months ago in the recruitment process of being able to bring in as much expertise in the backroom staff to be able to say, okay, we are supported by staff that can, the minute that final whistle blew at Bayern Munich, go, okay, we're going to get tickets on sale. And I think within the first 24 hours there were already, I think, 10,000 tickets sold. So yeah, I think the process is the most important thing, and while we will look at the end product, I think when you look at the future of sustainability in the game and for Arsenal women as a club, that's what's most exciting for me. Not only to play in the Champions League semi-final in a sold-out Emirates Stadium, but the prospect of so many more games there. I think that's the process that we're looking for.
And how much help a 60,000 Gooner is going to give you reaching the final, do you think?
Well, I know how much help I give to the men's players when I'm there, or when I was there as a young girl, and I hope that every Gooner there will channel their inner younger Gooner and scream their hearts out, because I know that's what we deserve.
2-2 after the first leg. I mean, what are your thoughts on clinching a final place, and how tough is it going to be given all the players you're missing? Yeah,
tough. Every game is tough when you're in the Champions League. There's such high calibre opponents, such high calibre players. But I think, as we have done across the whole campaign, we focused on ourselves and focused on the task at hand. I think what we learned from that 2-2 game was that we're going to fight, and we're going to fight till the end, and regardless of the situation that we have in front of us, regardless of the injuries, the availability, we have a deep squad, and we have a squad that's ready to fight, and I think that's what will be reflected in the game on Monday.
Been practising penalties?
Yes, we have.
How confident would you be if you needed to take one at the crunch?
Again, it's about the process. We've gone through it. Whatever that end product is, whatever that end result is, we'll know that it's the justified result based on everything that we've done to get here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tim?
Hi Lotte. Before we spoke before the first leg about the kind of different faces Arsenal have had to show in different games in the Champions League, do you feel like, reflecting on the first leg, that Arsenal showed another face in that first leg in Germany?
Yeah, I think, again, there's so much noise externally with the injuries, with the change in environment, situations, everything. But ultimately, when you get on that pitch, you play what's ahead of you, and I don't think we'd played a team that maybe was so direct in their physicality, in their sort of approach to playing longer balls and building in that way. So yeah, we adapted to that, and I think we showed a mature performance. Obviously, going 2 goals down, not ideal, but you work with it, you roll with the punches, and ultimately we left that game with a result that we wanted to take to the Emirates, to be able to do it justice in front of 60,000 Gooners. Nothing better, really.
And you kind of preempted my second question there, which was, Wolfsburg, one of the things they were doing was hitting particularly Jonsdottir over on the left. And, what were the differences for you as, playing on the right of a back three where you almost get dragged out to be a full-back? Was that different to adjust to, particularly against a player like Jonsdottir?
Yeah, definitely. I think she's obviously got a lot of pace, and likewise many of their players, they have a lot of individual quality, and we respect that. For me personally, it's a different challenge to come up against maybe than in a conventional back four where I'm just a second centre back. I enjoyed it. Likewise, I think I'm already relishing the opportunity to play against her again on Monday. I think these are the pressure situations that every single player here at Arsenal is made for, is ready to take on our chins, take in our stride, and with a World Cup coming up in the summer, no greater prep to play in a full stadium at the Emirates. Likewise, there'll be full stadiums, I hope, in Australia. So on an individual note, I'm relishing the opportunity.
Cheers, Lotte.
Hi, Lotte. When we've spoken to Jonas recently, he said basically he feels like he doesn't have to share as much information with the players and that you guys can problem solve on the pitch a lot more. I was just wondering, is that something you felt, and how have you kind of felt that develop over recent times?
I think if you step back and look at this second half of the season since January, we've had a lot of highs and also likewise a lot of lows. After that loss in the FA Cup to Chelsea, us as players came together in the changing room. We all sat down, and I think that was a pivotal moment for us as a group. And from there, I think, everyone's been able to see our togetherness, our resilience. But likewise, I said earlier about process. We've gone through a process of building relationships within us as a team, between players. And when you have that as a bedrock to live in life in general, but also trying to succeed as a football club, I think you are then able to have harder conversations on the pitch. You're able to understand what a teammate is going to do. You're able to work off of that. And obviously when you then come onto the pitch, you're able to ultimately get closer to winning. And there are those fine margins that I think we're, as a team, understanding in Champions League, which maybe is different to the WSL. We're understanding that that's maybe the difference that it's going to take. And if you look at our togetherness and our ability to problem solve on the pitch, I think that's somewhere where we're able to make that margin and take a leap forward to hopefully get a win, but even more so put out a good performance, which is what we're here to do.
Do you remember what that discussion was against Chelsea, or would you prefer not to go into details?
I think that's best kept between us as players, but it's a process. Every day we do little by little, working towards those end goals and those end products.
Yeah, and just as someone who grew up as an Arsenal fan, with Kelly Smith coming back into the kind of coaching stuff, for you, how kind of, as a feeling, how has that felt, and also what are the kind of maybe intangibles that you can get from someone like that?
I actually remember going to watch Kelly as a young girl, and I got her to sign my Oyster card holder. I still have that Oyster card holder. A few years, more than a few years later, maybe 10 years later, I'm on the pitch with her here at Colney, training with her as a 16-year-old. A few years later, she's my coach. As a gooner, or more so as a player, you understand the value that something like that can give you, not only to have the perspective going through watching a player like that, but then also playing with a player like that, and now being coached by her. There are so many things that you can learn, and already I think her impact, just having her around and being conscious that she's watching, or also being conscious that she's going to be able to maybe give you a tidbit of information that could change the way you approach a ball or change the way you approach a shot. They're the fine margins that I'm talking about. And to have that investment of an ex-player coming onto the staff, it's only good for the women's game, and I hope to see more and more of it. Thanks.
Molly?
Hey Lotte, you touched on it with Art a little bit there about the kind of togetherness and the relationships between the players. I wonder if that has contributed to the fact that despite all the injuries and whoever has come in or out of the squad, it feels like it's been quite smooth when you've then gone to play, even when it's been in such big games. Is that something that you're felt, and can you put your finger on kind of why that's been so seamless? Because sometimes it can be quite hard to make that jump.
Yeah, it's difficult because in hindsight it's so easy to say, oh yeah, it was so smooth, but in the moment there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectation, there's a lot quality that you want to give to a team, and I don't think in any moment it was easy, I think it's just been a step that we've been able to make as a team because of that bedrock of togetherness and connection that we have. I think from there, like in life, if you're comfortable, if you're feel like you can be yourself, you're then going to be able to perform at the highest level. And I think that's a culture that we've been able to cultivate here at Arsenal. I definitely feel it. I think if you ask any other player, I think they'd likewise say that I know I can be myself, I know I can perform as a result at my highest standard, highest level. So I think that's probably maybe the key, and I can't put my finger on maybe one conversation or one situation that allows us to be in that situation, but I definitely think I'd attribute it to that togetherness and that bedrock of comfort that we have here at Arsenal.
And you've been part of this Arsenal team and also the England team that have seen huge growth in support and attendances over the past sort of 12 months, I guess, specifically. Has it gone even quicker than maybe you imagined, or maybe younger you growing up? Did you think you'd still kind of be this young playing at a sold-out Emirates?
I don't think I'd ever have dreamed of it, to be honest. It's quite an emotional thing, I think, for everyone to experience, not only maybe as players, but I think for you guys as well, being in it for such a long time. Maybe it was the straw that broke the camel's back, that Euros win, and now it's the floodgates have opened and we're getting our just deserves. Like, let's not forget that we're maybe 50 odd years behind the men's game. I think Karen Carney described it as a start-up business, and women's football is in maybe its infant years. We're walking, but we're about to start running, and heck, we're probably about to start sprinting as well. So I think everyone's contributions to that, not just as players, as you guys, as staff here at Arsenal, like I touched upon, and the backroom staff, like all of this contributes to it, and it's no surprise that we're going to be sprinting soon because the investments come in, the visibility's coming, everything is coming at the right time, and as long as we have that backbone and we have the opportunities to go and do it, sky's the limit. I feel incredibly lucky to be a part of it, but then I'm also kind of like, heck, we deserve it. This is what we're here for.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next one, Sandra.
Hi, Lotte. You talked about the togetherness, and obviously, Arsenal fought back hard to come back into, in the first leg, and obviously you've done that in other games, in other competitions this season with the Man City game at Meadow Park. Just how has that kind of helped with the mentality going into this match of yourself, your teammates, just being able to kind of overcome that hurdle, particularly when I think Jonas has talked about the team thriving somehow in adversity this term?
Winning's a habit. Once you've done it once, it sort of becomes second nature. It becomes an intuition, and I think that's the point we're at right now. We're coming into the business end of the season, and every game is a cup final in a sense. I'm not even getting far ahead as to talk about the league. I'm talking about this Champions League right now, and when you look at it like that, and when you have the experiences of coming back from goals down, when you look at fighting back, if that is something in your blood, in your DNA, then it will always sort of be part of you, and that's the luxury we have. And maybe it's not even a luxury because we've worked for it, and everything that we do day in, day out, process again, it's here for a reason, and we're here to continue that process, and what happens at the end of it, that end product, it will be what is justified and what we deserve.
And just going back to Kelly Smith coming in, obviously the last Arsenal player to play in a Women's Champions League final, just how has having her with that experience that she had, particularly because it was over 2 legs, been in terms of, for you and your teammates? Yeah,
I guess, I fact checked, it was 2007, right? There were, that's even on the wrap of our stadium. The cultural relevance of the women's team to Arsenal as a club, even playing in the stadium, it's a club stadium. Like, this is where we play, this is where we deserve to play, and with Kelly coming in, her being a household name, these are all components that help, or will help, I think, create Arsenal as a club, Arsenal women, to continue to thrive in that conversation as Arsenal, and her contribution to that, having the experience back in 2007. Obviously she's only been with us now for a week, but or even just being around, I think it contributes to our confidence going into this game.